Soldiers facing discrimination from state laws could request transfers under draft Army policy, Army following the Air Force's footsteps. Does this sound like the United States to you? That you could be active duty military and be so anti one of the states of the United States that you must be moved. They must move you out of that state because just existing in one of the United States is just a threat to you. Your life is being threatened by just existing in one of the 50 United States or the bases that we have there. And so they must move you because of the policies that affect your life. Of course, this is in updates to mainly the LGBTQ plus community. The Army is circulating a draft policy tweak that would specify that soldiers can request to move if they feel state or local laws discriminate against them based on gender, sex, religion, race, pregnancy, according to two sources with direct knowledge of the plans. Of course, you can't move if your chain of command is harassing you. You can't move if your life is in danger because you're living in poverty in a low-income neighborhood because the military doesn't pay you enough, like San Diego or Northern California or something like that. You can't move if your kids are going to low-quality schools. You can't move if there's no health care available to you where you're at. You can't move for any of these other reasons. But if you're offended by the state that you live in, you will get a transfer. Does that sound like United States to anybody? Let me know in the comments. The guidance, which would update a vague service policy to add specific language on discrimination, is far from final and would need approval from Army Secretary Christine Wormuth. But if enacted, it could be one of the most progressive policies for the force amid a growing wave of local anti-LGBTQ and restrictive contraception laws in conservative-leaning states where the Army does most of its business. The policy would ostensibly sanction soldiers to declare that certain states are too racist, too homophobic, too sexist, or otherwise discriminatory to be able to live there safely and comfortably. In other words, the military is going to determine that a state is racist? What? The military is going to start calling states too racist, too homophobic, or too sexist, and it's not safe to live there? Am I living in an alternate dimension? What? Some states are becoming untenable to live in. Untenable to live in. There's a rise in hate crimes against LGBTQ people. Lindsay Church, executive director of Minority Veterans of America, says, I'm not familiar with that. I would have to see that. I don't know. I'm not discrediting that, but I haven't heard that or seen any evidence of that. In order to serve this country, people need to be able to do their job and know their families are safe. All of these states get billions for bases, but barely tolerate a lot of the service members. This doesn't jive with the reality that I've experienced in my lifetime, but I don't know. Maybe for some people it's true. If finalized, the new rules would clarify what situations would entitle a soldier a so-called compassionate reassignment. It's funny. It's funny. You can go to Iraq as a gay service member. You can go to Afghanistan, but you can't go to Texas. You can get pregnant in Afghanistan. Let me tell you a little secret. Let me tell you something you might not know. You can get pregnant on deployment. You can get pregnant in Saudi Arabia. Well, maybe that's a bad example. Qatar, Kuwait, but you can't move to you can't live in Texas. Texas is worse than Iraq, everybody. It's worse than Afghanistan, just so you know. Texas is now officially worse than Afghanistan. That's what the military says now. Wow. That's going to bring us together. That's going to unite us. The updated guidance, which sources said was drafted in response to several state laws, including the Roe v. Wade leak, would instruct commanders that they can use compassionate reassignment specifically to remove troops facing discrimination from their duty stations. The tweet came from a MilPer message, which is an internal tool for Army leaders and planners to issue policy clarifications, though the guidance has not yet been fully worked out through the policy planning process or briefed to senior leaders. The Army does not comment on leaked draft documents, according to Angel Tomko. This is why they have not made an official statement as to whether or not this is going to happen. According to a 2015 study from RAND Corps, roughly 6% of the military is gay or bisexual and 1% is transgender or non-binary. Those numbers are likely low, given that the survey was conducted 4 years after the repeal of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. I don't know. Probably it sounds about right, to be honest. It's unclear whether the Army's inclusion of pregnancy on the list would protect reproductive care for soldiers if there was a change to Roe v. Wade. That language could be intended to protect pregnant service members or their families from employment or other discrimination. Oh my God. Again, this is virtue signaling from the military when the military's already got a lot of work to do on their own about this. It's hardly an issue with the states. The sources who reviewed the drafts of the potential policy had different interpretation of what the change would mean. In practice, however, reassignment to a new installation wouldn't happen overnight, and it would be almost impossible for a woman to find out she's pregnant, have her command approve a transfer, and complete the move, and then be able to seek different reproductive care during a pregnancy. In other words, this is probably going to be a 6-month to 12-month process to get a change of assignment, if it happens at all. Michael Grinston, the Army senior enlisted leader, Sergeant Major of the Army, said to lawmakers that the force is considering some response to the end of Roe v. Wade, though it's unclear whether that is a separate policy being molded by Army planners. What I don't understand is every base is federal property, not state property. So can't they just start doing, if abortions were so much of the crux of this issue, can't they just do them on base? I don't know. TRICARE covers 9.6 million troops and veterans, IUDs, contraceptive diaphragms, prescription contraceptives, and surgical sterilization, which could all be severely curtailed if states go forward with banning or limiting birth control, as many service members and their families receive medical care paid by TRICARE. It's curious what's going to happen here. It is curious. Air and Space Force has already made this commitment that they will move their people if they feel, offended by their state. But this is, in my opinion, a huge joke. That is absolutely the worst move that the military can make as far as representing the United States and being a part of it. It's unbelievable to me. It says here, what we're seeing across the board is a small group of elected officials who are trying to politicize and weaponize LGBTQ identities in despicable ways. They're not only doing that to our youth, but the collateral damage is hurting our service members. Jacob Thomas, Communications Director for Common Defense, a progressive advocacy organization, told military.com. Troops can't be forced to live in places where they aren't seen as fully human. I don't in any way, shape, or form understand what he means by not seen as fully human. Maybe somebody can correct me in the comments. In fact, as a matter of fact, when it comes to Roe v. Wade, the problem is they see too many people as fully human, and progressives are the opposite. So just once again, life seems to be flipped 180 degrees on its head from where it should be. But if you guys disagree with me, you can leave it in the comments down below. I just can't believe that we've really gotten to the point now where the military is going to start officially declaring states too racist, too sexist, too homophobic to have bases in. Unbelievable. What's up, guys? Thanks for watching that video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button up in the corner here and check out this next video. If you want, in the description down below, there's links where you can get Scuttlebutt Show merch and find out how you can support the channel. I really appreciate it, and I look forward to talking to you guys very soon.